Hello crafters, Danny has asked me to do a demonstration today on how to make an acetate tent fold card. So while I'm doing this demonstration today, I will be putting the measurements down the side here so that if you're crafting along you can. But these are, I'll give you some examples. So this is what you should kind of expect at the end when you make your card, but we're going to go through that on how to do that today. So for this card you will need some coloured card, you will need some DSP, and then you will also need some white card. I've just got a bit of scrap here that I'm going to use as well. Okay, so to start off with our coloured card, the measurements that we need to cut for that are 14.8 centimetres by 21 centimetres. And that same card we're also going to score at 4 centimetres, 14.5 centimetres, 17 centimetres and 19.5 centimetres. Okay, now your acetate will be already pre-cut for you in your pack, but I am going to put the measurement on here as well, just so that you've got a copy of that measurement for your own records if you want to try and make this card again. So your acetate is 14.8 centimetres by 10.2 centimetres. Okay, so let's get this cut first with my trusty trimmer. So 21, 14.8. Okay, and then make sure you've got your scoring tool. We're going to score it, so make sure you turn it so it's the 21 centimetre side. We're going to score it at 4 centimetres, 14.5, 17, and 19.5. Okay, and now I'm just going to put that to the side. Now your DSP, this will need to be cut at 14.6 by 10 centimetres, and then you need to do 3 strips altogether, but 2 of your strips will be 14.6 centimetres by 2 centimetres, and you'll have 1 strip at 14.6 by 1.2 centimetres. Okay, and then your white insert is 14.6 centimetres by 10 centimetres. Okay, so I'm going to get those cut out now. With your DSP, if you have got a pattern that's a particular direction, just try and make sure that you get the direction the right way so that it's going upwards with your width. Okay, so 14.6 by 10. And then because we already know that this is measured at 14.6, all we need to do is our 3 strips. So 2 2 centimeters. Another 2 centimeters. And then a 1.2 centimeters. Okay. So then you've got 3 strips. And then for your white insert, we've got 14.6. By 10. Okie dokie. So to summarise, you've got your coloured card that you've scored at 4 centimetres, 14.5, 17 and 19.5. You have your DSP and your 3 DSP strips. Okay, you have your white insert and you have your pre-cut acetate, but I've also put the measurements here on the size of that one. Okay, so I'm just going to pop these to the side. Okay, so trusty bone folder. We're going to use the folds onto this card. So your first score line, which is your 4 centimetres, you're going to fold down. Make sure that's nice and folded. Okay. Then for your bottom 3 scores, you're going to do some mountain folds and valley folds. So for the first one, you're going to fold that in so it kind of meets in the middle. Okay. Then your second score line here, you're going to fold down. Your third score line, you're going to fold up. Okay. So that you get that fold effect, so that when the card comes together, it will sit up like so, but also fold flat to fit in an envelope. Okay, so one of the things that I've learned in my practice is at this stage, it's a good idea to put some tear and tape on the inside here, because this is where we're going to stick the acetate, and on top here. Mainly because I have made a few mistakes when I've made this in the past, where I've put DSP in the wrong place. So I find if I put it on now, I am less likely to make that mistake. So I'm just going to stick one bit on the inside here, and then a second bit. As you can tell, I do very accurate measuring for my tear and tape. We're just going to stick it on the inside here. Doesn't need to be any particular place, just needs to be stuck down. So you've got one bit on your inside there and one bit on your inside there. Okay, now for your white insert, you can obviously stamp this, but for this demonstration I won't be stamping mine, but I usually stick this down first because this goes on the back of the card. So I'll turn the card over, we stick it here. So I'm just going to get my glue. Now I like using wet glue for this because I need that wiggle room, because I can never get it straight. If my glue wants to come out. that bit stuck down. We're then going to turn the card over. Okay, and then this is where our DSP pieces come in. So your larger DSP goes on the back here because that's the main pattern that's going to be seen through the card. Your two bigger strips you stick down on these bits. Obviously, if you have a particular pattern, I try and match the pieces up so it's continuous. And then your final piece doesn't go on the inside here, no, it goes on the outside here, so that when the card is put together, you have a continuous pattern all the way through. So let's get these stuck down. Now for your background, you don't have to use necessarily, for your larger DSP, you don't have to use a patterned paper. You can always get a plain piece of paper and put your own pattern on it using your different stamps. That is also something that you can do. But again, that is up to you. Okay, stick that down. Try not to get my head in. So this card is from the Hydrangea Haven set, which I absolutely love, mainly because it has a lot of blues and purples, which is my favourite. Oh, big blue there, but that's okay. Okay, now for your final strip, I usually find it easier to turn the card the other way, to stick it down. Okay, so while we are waiting for this to dry, I usually use this opportunity to do my stamp or message for the front of the card. So for example, like in this one, making this bit. Okay, so for this one, I'm using Misty Moonlight and the Hydrangea Haven stamp set. So what I'm thinking is, the world is better because of you. That's nice. You can tell I use this a lot by how stained they are. Now, the other thing is, because this is quite a big label, and with the pattern that's on it, I want to add some of the little flowers that they've got just in the corners to give it a bit of a pattern. I'm not going to colour these in, mainly because I quite like the fact that it's just the outline on here. Now, Misty Moonlight is going to be one of the colours that is retiring, but as some of you may be aware, there is quite a few, they've got the new colours in. They were launched recently. There's quite a few nice blues in that. So that's quite exciting. Now I know I've smudged it a bit there, but nobody's perfect, and we'll figure out a way. We can just say it's part of the effect. No one will know. Okay, so let's do some here. Lovely. I'm going to do a bit of a double stamping effect, I think, for the second one, so it's not so dark. Like so. And then maybe we'll do a little bit up here and a little bit there. Give it a clean. Okay. Then I'm going to add some little gems, I think. So if we use one here. Maybe a little one on the flowers. There we go. Lovely. Wait for that to dry. And then I'm going to get some dimensionals just so that it adds a bit of leveling to the card. On there. Lovely. And then I'm just going to pop that in the side. Okay, so now this should have all dried and we move on to the trickier part. So with your acetate, what you want to do is try and get the line to match the fold along the bottom. Okay, so we need to really make sure that fold is really strong. Okay, so I'm going to remove the tear and tape. Put this on the score line so it's straight. And then because acetate is quite flexible, I'm just going to slightly bend it, just ever so slightly, just so it sticks down. And then secure that. Then fold the card up, and in theory it should match with the score line at the top here, your acetate, so that when you fold the card flat it fits in an envelope. So I'm going to hold this down here, pull off the tear and tape up here, if my nails will let me. Oh, the daily fight with tear and tape. Fold that down so it's flat. And that's pretty much nearly ready to go. So that gives you the shape. Now, with this line here, you can always cut a pattern into it, or with some of my other cards I've just put some ribbon across it, but everyone's different. It's whatever works for you. And then your final piece will be just to stick your little message on the front. Put it there just because then you can actually see the pattern behind. And there you go, your acetate tent fold card that can be flat to put in an envelope, and with space on the back to write your message. Thank you so much for watching.